In breaking news, US President Donald Trump has had a lengthy phone call with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. He also spoke with NATO leaders after concluding talks with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, in Alaska. Now, the US President and Russia's President Vladimir Putin have departed Alaska after holding Russia-Ukraine ceasefire talks. President Trump claiming great progress had been made, but leaving the door open to further meetings, possibly between Ukraine and Russia's leaders. Connor Hansen has filed this report from Alaska. Take a look.
Talks between President Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin lasted for nearly 3 hours. The two leaders agreed they'd like to stop the fighting in Ukraine and restore Russia-U.S. relations, but there was no mention specifically of an immediate ceasefire. President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin began their high-stakes summit with a handshake, but ended without a ceasefire in Ukraine.
I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate, and I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting. It's ultimately up to them.
We need to eliminate all the primary causes of that conflict and agree with President Trump that, naturally, the security of Ukraine should be ensured as well.
After greeting one another at Elmendorf Air Force Base, the two leaders took President Trump's limo to the summit site where they spoke for more than 2.5 hours. President Trump says he wouldn't accept anything less than a ceasefire during Friday's talks. To end the fighting, Moscow has called for an end to Western weapons shipments to Ukraine and demanded Kyiv give up territory as part of any potential peace deal.
There were many, many points that we agreed on, most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite gotten there, but we've made some headway.
Trump suggested there will likely have to be some give and take on boundaries, but Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Ukraine won't give up any territory captured by Russia during the war.
We hope for a strong position from the U.S. Everything will depend on this. The Russians respect American strength alone.
There was no word on a second meeting involving Zelensky, though President Trump said he'd be calling him shortly after the summit. Both Trump and Putin suggested they'd be speaking very soon, Putin even suggesting Trump visit Moscow.